So we're here. Today, May 15th, is pretty much the first day, at least the first business day, the first work day of the middle of May. We're now in the third week of May. We got 5 weeks in the month of May, which makes the third week the middle of May. And if all of the independent media sources or media platforms was correct, and if all independent journalist platforms from Twitter was correct, that means we should find out who is going to be MLS Team 30 either this week or next week, because we are now in the middle of May. And the reports didn't say the end of May. The reports didn't say the beginning of May. The report said the middle of May. So here we are. So in this monologue right here, Monologue 162, I'm going to talk about the importance of the number 30. You see, there's a lot of things in sports that us as Americans, because we're kind of spoiled. We have so many options when it comes to sports entertainment. We got the NFL, we got the NBA, we got MLB, we got NHL. And if college sports was considered to be professional, we'll also have college football, college basketball. So with so many options for entertainment, it's easy for us we tend to just look by and just overlook certain things. And one of those things is the number 30. So based on American standards, the number 30 solidifies a league as a real major professional league. Now you may be wondering how or why it's like that. Why is the number 30? Well, I can't give you a concrete answer. But the answer I can give you is based on the actions of leagues that have been around longer than Major League Soccer. American leagues, that is. NFL, NHL, 32. NBA, MLB, 30. NBA still desires to add 2 more members to go up to 32. It's going to be Seattle and maybe Vegas, but those are 2 cities that they desire. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Major League Baseball, they may consider going up to 32 soon. Salt Lake City, they're interested in adding a professional team. We're now hearing about Orlando. They want a team. Nashville, they want a team. Charlotte wants a team. So we'll see about Major League Baseball also. So because those top 4 leagues have set the standard at 30, the number 30 is what solidifies any professional league in America to be a legitimate major league. So before Major League Soccer, they were called Major League Soccer, but people didn't view them as a major professional league. And one of those reasons is because they weren't complete. They weren't full. They were half full. They were still viewed as amateur because they didn't have the number that solidifies you as a professional league. And now as we enter the middle of May, and if those reports from Twitter, if those rumors are true, if the signs out of San Diego, the San Diego Loyal, is true, then this week or next week, MLS will officially become the major professional soccer league in America. Think about it. Did you ever see this happening 30 years ago? Soccer supporters, those of you who've been watching soccer since the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and those of you who are not angry about the fall of NASL, those of you who just appreciate the professional game through the good and the bad, through the corrupt and all. Did you ever see Major League Soccer growing to 30 leagues. 30 teams by the year 2023. Back in 1993, when guys like Robert Kraft and Lamar Hunt, all of them were getting ready to prepare for the '94 World Cup, and as a result of America hosting the World Cup back in '94, they're getting ready to also start a professional league, which was MLS. They're getting ready to start MLS, which was eventually '96. But when these guys were like sitting in a room and everybody was just brainstorming, do you think they ever saw this day, 30 years later, where MLS transformed into a real major professional league? Honestly, none of us, or none of y'all who've been paying attention to the game since the 70s or the 80s or even the 90s, or we'll just say the 90s. I'm sure any of you who are listening to me right now, I'm sure you've been paying attention to the sport at least since the 90s. But did you see this day coming? Honestly, most people did not. MLS had to overcome a lot of hurdles and difficulties and negative perceptions to be where it's at today. I think out of all the major professional leagues, all 4 major professional leagues, I think MLS most likely had the toughest road. NHL, they always had a close relationship with NBA. Like NBA arenas was most of them, a lot of them was always made to be conducive for hockey games. That was never the case with MLS. Even though they had a decent, good relationship with NFL stadiums wasn't always conducive for soccer matches. The pitch in NFL stadiums wasn't always 120 yards long and 75 yards wide. So this is why I believe MLS has had the toughest road to 30 out of any of the other 4 major professional leagues. And so now, when Major League Soccer officially becomes number 30, it's no longer going to be scoffed upon or chuckled upon, because they have reached that number that solidifies an American professional sports league to being legit. And this is why number 30 is very important. So whoever is going to be number 30, because MLS has done a good job being quiet and being secret about it. The only major media platforms that has been the loudest has been reports out of San Diego, which is pretty obvious because they truly desire, and out of all the candidates, they have put the most work in to be number 30. So, in my opinion, if there's any city that's going to be number 30 that deserves it the most, it's San Diego, because they've done everything that MLS asked them to do. MLS asked them to get a billionaire investment group. They got the billionaire investment group. MLS told them, you got to get a soccer-specific stadium. They made sure that Snapdragon Stadium was not only conducive for college football, but it was also conducive for major professional soccer matches. That it wasn't only a gridiron football field, a gridiron football stadium, but a world football stadium where not only American football can be played, but soccer can be played there also. So if there's any city out of the candidates that deserve it the most, it's San Diego. And that's probably why they've been the loudest, because they put in the most work. The businesses work with the politicians. The politicians work with the soccer supporters. It's been a huge city effort. This hasn't been a community effort in San Diego. It's been a huge city effort. And if San Diego is awarded, I'm going to talk more about San Diego in another monologue. So whoever becomes number 30, you really got to understand the importance of you being number 30. You're not a regular franchise. You are going to be the honorable franchise. You're going to be the honorable club, the club that cemented MLS in becoming a legitimate professional sports league in America. But like I said, whatever city is chosen, I'm going to specifically talk about you in another message and another monologue. So now I close with this. Major League Soccer. Are you ready? Are you ready to be looked upon and viewed upon as a major professional sports league? That means you can't be secret about everything anymore. That means you have to be a little more open with the media now. That means we need a little more transparency. You need to make yourself a little more visible in communities. And when I say communities, not only rich communities. We need to see you more in the inner cities. We need to see you more in disenfranchised neighborhoods. You need to make your presence more. You need to make your presence more. You need to be more viewable than ever before. Because you're no longer viewed as an amateur league. You're no longer the stepson or the little brother of the NFL, or more so, the son of the NFL, since you are largely created by NFL owners. You have grown now. You have matured. You are becoming a man of your own. And as a result of that, it's time for you to do grown man things. You're past the puberty stage now. You're an adult now. Are you ready to be looked upon as an adult? Are you ready to walk like an adult, talk like an adult, think like a man, make mature decisions? Don't fall on your emotions, but be as logical as possible. Are you ready to take that next step? Are you ready to take that next level of being a major professional league? As I said in book 1, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to keep repeating it in book 2. This 2020 decade is for you, MLS. This is your golden era. And so far, you're doing good. You really are taking advantage of this golden era. Apple TV deal. CCL championships. You're back in the CCL title, the CCL final for the second straight year. You're beating Liga MX in the Campeones Cup. Now we got the Leagues Cup. Now the next step after all of this is gonna be finding a legitimate linear partner. Because even though streaming is growing, you still need a major linear partner that will do more. That will do more to promote your brand. Because, in my opinion, I don't think Fox is doing enough. ESPN didn't do enough. Fox is not doing enough. Because those two networks, they're too occupied with other sports. But I'm going to talk about that in another monologue. Because I don't want to go past my 15 minutes. So MLS, we're in the middle of May. Are you ready to be looked upon as a major professional sports league? We're going to find out. And we're going to find out soon.
Now I used to walk with the gun, now I walk like a man. And I walk what I talk, and I walk never ran. And I never say never, but I mean hardly ever. And if shoes the solution, then you not that clever.